today's video, I'm going to be explaining why you binge eat at night and how to stop. Hello my honeys, it's Emmie. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmie. I'm a nutritionist and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where you work with me as well as a mindset coach and a nutrition coach to lose weight on a plant-based diet. If you're interested in that, go to healthyhunnie.org. And let's do it. By the end of this video, what you might learn about your habits and your binge eating problem is that your binge eating habits aren't a binge eating habit and your binge eating problem isn't a binge eating problem. Really what's going on is a restriction problem. And I know that sounds crazy to you. I don't restrict, I binge out like crazy. I mean, you've got the wrong person. Clearly you don't understand my problem. Please watch this whole video because I think that you don't understand the problem. And at the end of this video, my goal is that you have clarity on what the problem truly is and how you can fix it. And I hope that didn't sound mean when I said that you don't understand the problem. I'm here to help, not to harm. So if you're experiencing this problem, this is usually what it looks like for you. Let's draw a little clock here. Hickory dickory dock. And we have 12, 3, 6, 9. Usually, the way it looks for my friends that are struggling with binge eating is their eating window is like here to here. This is when they eat, and then all this, just a whole lot of nothing. So the eating goes on in this little sliver right here, and the rest of the time they are restricting. And you might not think that you're restricting, but let me explain what's going on here. This is a classic binge to restrict cycle. So during the hours of 8 to 9 or whatever it is for you, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, the eating is through the roof. You are housing food, and you're not doing it because you lack willpower. You're not doing it because you don't have any morals or values. You're not doing it because you're disgusting. It's none of those things. You're doing it because you're caught in a binge restrict cycle. So between the hours of 8 and 9 or whatever it is for you, you binge. After the binge, you tend to feel very guilty and very overstuffed. So there's guilt and physically stuffed. Because of these two things, you vow that you are going to be good the next day, this is never going to happen again, and you restrict. It might not be intentional restriction because you're physically stuffed, meaning that you're probably not going to be hungry when you wake up the next morning. So after this happens, you restrict. And again, that restriction may not be intentional. It may be, but it also may not be. It could be a reflection of the fact that you are so physically stuffed that for the next 12, 18, 20 hours, you're not hungry because you've eaten so much in that little slot right there that for all this time, you're not hungry. My friends that also struggle with the binge restrict cycle like to do coffee during this time, or they'll do sugar-free gum. They'll do something that's going to stave off their hunger. And specifically with the coffee, there's the caffeine in there that if you are experiencing hunger, the caffeine is going to make it so that you can't feel the hunger. You're riding the caffeine high. And then when the caffeine high wears off, all the hunger that you were experiencing subliminally comes out, and it comes out roaring. And then this little black hole happens right there. So you restrict. What happens when you restrict is you get hungry, and the hunger builds up and builds up and builds up, and you say, no, I'm being good, I have to make up for what I've done yesterday, I can't eat those foods. The hunger is building up. If you're drinking coffee or if you're physically stuffed, there's usually hunger that's going on below the surface that you can't feel, and then all of a sudden that time of day hits and you are off to the races with food. So you engage in a binge. Now let's put the times on here so that you can fully understand. And these are made up times. They're going to be different for you. Let's say it's 8 p.m. and then you restrict for the rest of the day. You get really hungry, maybe around 5 or 6 or 7. The hunger builds up, and then around 8 p.m. you end up binge eating. Now you might say, well, Emmie, this isn't me because I do eat during the day. And then I'll ask people what they eat during the day. So maybe they're not doing coffee, but this is what they eat during the day. They'll have maybe an apple or a piece of fruit, and then they'll have a green juice, and then they'll have another piece of fruit. Honeys, I mean, come on, that's nothing. So they eat maybe 200 calories during the day, And then at nighttime, they eat 4,000 calories. That's just a made up number. But they say that they're eating during the day, but this is 2% their daily intake. So really, I wouldn't even consider that eating during the day. So how do we fix this cycle? And let me show you what the problem is here. The problem is not the binge. People think that that is the problem. That's what I have to fix. I have a binge eating problem. I need to stop binging. I have no willpower. That's what needs to be fixed. Here, that is the problem. So the question here, and the title of this video should be not why you binge eat at night, but the title of this video should be You Binge Eat at Night because you restrict during the day. The restriction during the day is what causes the binge eating at night. So what do we do here? How do we make it so that you stop binge eating at night? Well, you have to stop restricting during the day. I say that to people and they want to shoot me. People don't like to hear that if they struggle with binge eating at night. And I'll tell you why people don't like to hear it after I erase this whiteboard. So when I tell people, well, you're binge eating at night because you are restricting during the day, they say to me, well, I can't eat during the day. I say, you have to eat during the day. And they say, I can't eat during the day for these reasons. I can't eat during the day because, number one, once I start, I can't stop. They say, once I start, I can't stop. That's why I restrict during the day, because when it gets to the end of the day and I'm binge eating, that once I take that first bite, I'm off to the races. So if I start eating earlier in the day, then I'm just gonna binge for the day as long. But this is not true. The reason why once you start, you can't stop is because your body is not in rest and digest, it's in fight or flight. And when your body is in fight or flight, it shuts off your hunger signals during the day. And then once you start eating, your body says, oh, okay, I can actually eat right now. Turn the hunger signals back on. And that's why you're off to the races. Another reason why is that you are genuinely hungry. You haven't eaten all day. So of course your body's gonna say, well, it's about time for me to go to bed and I haven't eaten anything all day. So I'm just gonna get everything in right now. That is why once you start, you can't stop. Because you're in the binge restrict cycle. So the reason why once you start you can't stop, it isn't because you lack willpower. That is a symptom of a binge restrict cycle. Once I start, I can't stop. If you are saying that, then that is a symptom of the binge restrict cycle. This means that you're in the binge restrict cycle. So in order to exile this, in order to make that not a part of your reality, you have to get out of the binge restrict cycle. That's the only way you are going to alleviate that symptom. This is a symptom of the binge restrict cycle. The other reason why people tell me, well, I can't eat during the day is because I'm not hungry. They say, Emmie, I genuinely don't feel hunger during the day. I like to intermittent fast. The reason why you're not hungry, wouldn't you know, it's the same reason why the first thing is on here. It's because you're in a binge restrict cycle. The reason why you're not hungry during the day is because you ate so much the night before that you're still riding off of those calories. You're still riding off of that energy. Your body doesn't need energy at that moment. So same thing as before, that's a symptom of the binge restrict cycle. So we need to make it so that you are out of the binge restrict cycle, you're eating during the course of the day so that you get hungry during the day. This is where it's a little bit uncomfortable because in order to get hungry during the day and in order to be able to eat and not feel like you have to eat everything that's in front of you, you have to go through this little period of discomfort. Let me explain this a little bit more. So let's look at the eating times of somebody that's in the binge restrict cycle. All of their food is eaten in one little section of the clock. Now let's look at somebody who's free. The free person takes this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different feeds, and they look like this. And actually, would you look at that? The person that's caught in the binge restrict cycle is eating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different plates, whereas somebody who's free is eating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different plates. And I'm not saying that you have to eat 6 times per day, you have to eat 3 times per day, you have to eat 4. But what I often see is when somebody is free, they end up eating less than somebody who's in a binge restrict cycle. So people that are in a binge restrict cycle think that the restriction during the day is making them eat less, when in fact, it's the exact opposite. Because look at this. This looks reasonable, right? To go a couple of hours between all of your meals. This person thinks that they're restricting, and this is a great way to lose weight because they're fasting for all this time, but actually this person usually ends up eating more than the person that eats during the day. The part that's uncomfortable is this, going from here to here. And this is what people want to know. How do I get myself from here to here? That's going to look different for everybody. Some people have to go cold turkey, some people have to wean themselves into it, and this is where you need help. It's extremely difficult to get yourself from here to here alone. You can do it, but you can also seek help, and this is where somebody like me comes in, somebody like my team comes in, my coaches, my nutrition coaches, my mindset coaches. We can help you get from here to here. If you are stuck in this cycle, if this has really spoken to you, then please seek help. I've explained as much as I can for you to understand and why you're in this binge restrict cycle, and to teach you, you have to start doing this, you have to start eating through the day. But if that's not enough for you and you need somebody to help you with this, please reach out to me so that I can help you get there. But this is why you are caught in this cycle. You starve during the day, you binge at night, you're not hungry, you feel guilty, so you vow to be good. You think that this is helping you lose weight all this time, when in reality, we see you end up eating more when all of your food is eaten at once versus what you should be doing, which is eating throughout the day. This is what you need to do. And if making this transition is very difficult for you, then reach out to work with me, reach out to me to work with me. And say, Emmie, that binge restrict video that you did, I need help with this transition right here, and I'll know exactly what you're talking about. Question of the day is, what's your middle name? That's the question of the day. Leave a comment and let me know what your middle name is. I love you, honeys, and I'll see you in my next one. Woo!